Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Denise Richardson, and I'm the Director of Partner Relations here at Dundas. I will be facilitating our webinar today. I want to start off by thanking all of you for joining us today. The intent of this webinar is to have a discussion around the importance of collaborative business intelligence. Dundas BI allows organizations to connect, interact, and visualize its data with unprecedented ease and functionality. Our customers have asked for a way that they can easily share information and analytics across their organization with both business and technical users. Dundas BI helps to unlock the value of their data to share both across their business and with their customers in meaningful ways. We have built the BI experience with feedback from both our customers and analysts. We are very proud of the hard work that has gone into building this and are very excited to show it to you today. Let me start off by introducing our presenters today. It's with great pleasure we have Howard Dresner, the Chief Research Officer of the Dresner Advisory Services with us, as well as Nikhil Bodapeti, who is a Solution Architect here at Dundas. Let's take a quick look at the agenda. I'll start off today with a brief overview of Dundas and Dundas BI. We'll then pass it over to Howard, who will take us through his 2015 Collaborative Computing and Business Intelligence Market Study. Nikhil will then take us through a live demo of the collaborative capabilities in Dundas BI. We'll have a brief discussion about what's next, and we'll wrap it up with a question and answer period. There will be a chance for all of you to ask your questions after the demo, and we will endeavor our best to get them all answered. Should you have a specific need or would like a more detailed response, please contact us directly at info@dundas.com. There are also a number of options for both technical and business users to get a more of a hands-on feel, which we'll discuss later in the call. To kick things off, I want to share some information with you about Dundas. Dundas has been in the data visualization and business intelligence space for over 20 years. In that time, we have built up a tremendous amount of expertise and have helped thousands of users to better understand their data, adapt quickly to trends, and ultimately grow and succeed. We sold our Dundas Charts and Component business to Microsoft in 2007 and then introduced a comprehensive dashboarding tool, Dundas Dashboards. With the needs of different users in mind, both our Dashboard 5.0 and Dundas BI will continue to provide reporting, analytics, and intelligence tools in the market. We're based in Toronto, Canada, while our customers operate globally. We have deep experience working with customers directly, as well as with local partners across a variety of industries. For those of you who are new to Dundas BI is an end-to-end enterprise-ready BI solution with a focus on data presentation. Whether you are a content consumer or a creator, you will benefit from our tailored self-service analytics and single experience on any device across all data sources. As a consumer of BI, you're able to further customize what you see to drill down, collaborate, share, and much more. If you need to create powerful, interactive, pixel-perfect dashboard reports without having to worry about how your data is structured, then you get on-the-fly data analysis. Our unified data layer allows you to work in the same way with your data no matter how or where it is stored. Our powerful design functionality will enable you to explore, analyze data, and create your BI content on any device. Imagine you start your work on a dashboard at your desktop. You then go home and continue to develop using your tablet. Next morning you're on the train, you open it up on a smartphone, and all this without having to install any additional applications, modules, or being tied to your desktop. If you're a very technical data analyst and need to prepare data to be consumed by others, then you get your own ETL layer. If you're a developer integrator, then you'll benefit from our flexible platform, which will allow you to customize, extend, and integrate to meet any business requirement. If you're an IT user concerned about security, version control, controlling the deployment, user management, the application was developed with you in mind, and you will get this functionality straight out of the box. Why do our customers choose Dundas? In one word, flexibility. Dundas is known for embedded BI. Our ability to integrate with other software or be customized through fully open APIs mean we don't restrict organizations in terms of what they can do with our software. Data can help organizations optimize their performance. Providing access to this data through a managed self-serve environment is the best and most economical way to achieve this. Our BI software provides self-service tools with all the security and governance controls administrators expect. With years of experience in data visualization and a strong track record of listening to the voice of our customers, we work with some of the world's most innovative companies and help them to discover and exploit the strengths of their businesses. I will now pass it over to Howard, who will present his findings from the Dresner 2015 Collaborative Computing and Business Intelligence Market Study. Howard?
Thank you, Denise, and thanks to everybody for joining today. At Dresner Advisory Services, we actually conduct quite a few studies focused on business intelligence throughout the course of the year. In fact, this year we'll publish over 12 major studies. Collaborative business intelligence is just one of them, and this year was our 4th year of conducting this particular study. So today I'm going to share some of those findings from our latest study with you. So let's get started. And first I'd like to offer a definition of collaborative business intelligence. Of course, business intelligence is all about fact-based decision-making, leveraging data to develop insights and then to act upon them. Collaborative business intelligence takes it to the next level. It allows us to coordinate and to cooperate with other people to drive towards decision-making or shared decision-making and consensus building within the organization. So let's talk about business intelligence priorities and where this notion of collaborative business intelligence actually fits in. And we survey our community on a regular basis. We ask them about a whole host of related technologies and initiatives. And you can see it ranges at the top from dashboards all the way down to the bottom to cognitive business intelligence. There are 25 different initiatives that we surveyed them on this year. And you can see that collaborative support for group-based analysis or collaborative business intelligence is right in the middle. However, to put a finer point on this, let's take a look at how things have changed year over year. You can see that many of the various initiatives went down in priority, some of them only slightly, some of them more significantly, and only a handful of them actually increased, so 7 increased. And you can see that collaborative BI actually increased a little bit, which certainly is encouraging. So collaboration and collaborative business intelligence is certainly important, and it's increasing in importance. But how are organizations collaborating today? Well, the answer is they're doing a relatively good job, but certainly could be doing better. And what we asked here is, how are they actually taking the insights that they derive from their business intelligence environments and how are they acting on them? And you can see that the greatest majority share these insights on a fairly ad hoc basis, which means that if it occurs to me to share something with you, I will do so. Only 24% actually have well-defined processes for sharing, and 15% really are not doing a very good job at all. And the mechanism that they're using to collaborate, by and large, is email. And email is actually not a very efficient way to share those sorts of insights, and we all deal with our inbox every single day, and we know that we get a whole host of different kinds of messages about different subjects, different projects from different people, and really it's incumbent upon you and me, the users of email, to apply the appropriate context to those messages and integrate that information. And this is followed by things like face-to-face meetings and telephone calls. You can see that all the way down towards the end, the collaborative features built into the business intelligence tool is far lower. Now I should note that this is a weighted mean, so it's on a 5-point scale, so most of them are above a 3.0, which is good, and just that collaborative business intelligence really needs to increase on this scale to become much more mainstream. So if we look at this by some different slices, you can see here that collaboration using business intelligence is much higher when you look at the sales function or you look at executive management. In fact, we find that this notion of collaboration and using collaborative capabilities within the business intelligence tool resonates much more so with what I would call the front office than it does with the back office. You can see it's not quite as strong with, let's say, finance or the IT function. And if we take a look at, and this is kind of an interesting view, we took a look at organizations that claim that they were successful with business intelligence, and you can see that those that are very successful with their business intelligence initiatives also are much more likely to embrace the notion of collaboration within the business intelligence environment. And then for those that really have a well-defined process or processes for sharing those insights, they're much more likely to use the collaborative features built into their business intelligence tool. So what this tells us is those that do a really good job with business intelligence and are really good at sharing those insights and leveraging those insights are much more likely to use those facilities, the collaborative facilities that are available to them within their business intelligence environment. Okay, let's take a look at the importance of collaborative BI. So we always ask with all of our studies, how important is this particular topic to you? So what we can see here is taking a look at 3 years worth of data for collaborative BI. We can see that it's been on a general upward trend. This is taking a look at the overall sample of all respondents, which is good. So it's going in the right direction, and it's right above a 3.0. So once again, that's better than average, and it is rising. Now, as I said before, it does appear to be more of a front office sort of initiative. So you can see that it's stronger with, on the left there, marketing and sales and executive management, and then it takes a dip when you take a look at finance and the IT function. So definitely a front office sort of initiative. And then we look by organization size. This is interesting, and we've seen this sort of U-shaped adoption curve before. We find that collaborative business intelligence is very strong within small organizations and large organizations, and it takes a little bit of a dip within the mid-sized organizations. And I think that's because the small organizations tend to be much more agile. They can take advantage of new initiatives to drive some sort of competitive differentiation. And of course, they can do it much more quickly on it because they are doing it on a smaller scale. And then in the larger organizations, they have many more resources that are available to take advantage of it. And so you find them both executing, but the folks in the middle don't have the agility, they don't have the resources, and therefore it takes them a bit longer to take advantage of it. So let's take a look at what are the collaborative business intelligence features that organizations really want to use. And so once again, we have 3 years worth of data to share with you today. And the most desired feature, the highest demand feature, is being able to annotate a business intelligence object. So whether it's a chart or a table or some insight, being able to, let's say, circle it and annotate it with some text, a question, a comment, is the most popular capability or feature. And you can see that actually from 2013 to 2015, that capability has actually increased in demand. In fact, all of the capabilities for the most part have increased in demand or in priority as the marketplace has become more aware of collaborative business intelligence functionality and as some are actually using it. The second most important capability is being able to share that commentary or that annotation with other business intelligence users. And the third is being able to co-author business intelligence capabilities or analyses. Fourth most popular is being able to follow a BI object. And by follow, we mean as something changes with that object or with any of the annotations, I would get notified if I select to be notified via whatever mechanism through the business intelligence environment or through email or whatever the case may be. So those are the most popular features. And I will say that many of the products that are out there do support at least a couple of those features, but certainly not all of them. And this year in our study, we actually expanded the survey to include data storytelling, which we believe really is a part of collaborative business intelligence. By storytelling, I mean the ability to take the analyses that we've created, the tables, the charts, the indicators, and tell a story around it, being able to surround it with an explanation, whatever that case may be. And in most cases today, we do that through things like PowerPoint. We create presentations, but they're not alive, they're not dynamic. By embedding the storytelling features within the business intelligence environment, it remains connected to the analysis and connected to the underlying data. So we asked about some key storytelling features that organizations want to see within their business intelligence tool. And what you see here is the top feature is being able to enable the author to highlight things, followed by defining the navigation of the information or the flow of the analytical objects, and that's followed by user interaction with objects in the story. And this is a really critical point. So what's really valuable about data storytelling within the business intelligence environment is that as the viewer, as the consumer of this story that's been constructed for me, I can pause and I can actually interact with the analytical objects in that story that I'm currently viewing, and then continue. I can also navigate, which is the fourth most popular thing. I can go back. I can go forward, as the case may be. So this is truly a very powerful capability within the emerging collaborative business intelligence environment. And then one more slide on storytelling, just to give you a sense once again of who really sees the most value or really values the various features within a storytelling capability. And you can see once again it's very much driven by the front office. You can see sales very strong around some of these capabilities, followed by some of their counterparts in marketing, but very much a front office kind of initiative. And you can see that in particular sales really values the user interaction with the objects and also the author-defined navigation and flows of those objects. So we will, moving forward into the future, be asking even more questions about storytelling because we really do believe that this is a critical capability. So let's change gears a little bit and take a look at the users' plans or organizations' plans for collaborative business intelligence. So at the outset, we asked them what their plans were, and you can see that the greatest majority of organizations are either using the collaborative capabilities within the business intelligence environment today, 14%, or expect to or plan to use those capabilities in the future. Of course, 44% don't have any plans. And this is very characteristic of an emerging market dynamic. And so we expect that as we continue to ask this question over the ensuing years, that 44%, the no, will shrink, and the other two categories will increase. So if we take a look at a functional view of plans to use collaborative BI, once again, you can see that sales and marketing, as well as executive management, are much more likely to actually be using collaborative BI today and also have the most definitive plans, most notably sales, very well-defined, very strong plans to use those capabilities. And that's because sales tend to be the probably the greatest collaborators within most organizations, followed by marketing. So you can see very strong plans there. If we take a look by organization size, here it's pretty even across the board. You know, once again, we do see that the largest organizations and the very smallest organizations tend to have the greatest utilization as well as the most substantial plans moving forward. But for the most part, all organizations have some plans to use this capability into the future. And then once again, we apply that sort of success with business intelligence view, and you can see that the most successful organizations with business intelligence, almost 20% of them are saying, yeah, we already use collaborative business intelligence today. And then another significant chunk of those said that they will be using it in the future. And as you go to the right, the less successful organizations, less likely to be using it. Even though there is intent to use collaborative BI in the future, the most successful organizations seem to be using it already today. And then once again, taking a look at that view of acting on the information or acting on insight, those that have very well-defined processes for sharing their business intelligence insights are much more likely, more than 20% of them say, yes, we're using collaborative business intelligence today. So next I want to take a look at collaborative BI and enterprise frameworks. Now, what I mean by an enterprise framework is a more general capability for collaborating within the enterprise. Things like SharePoint, for instance, is a very popular enterprise framework. And many of the collaborative tools that are out there do integrate with those frameworks to extend it beyond the business intelligence environment. So when we asked organizations how important these collaborative frameworks are, and the integration of business intelligence with it, you can see that that's also on the upswing. It took a little bit of a dip perhaps in 2014, but definitely important for many organizations to have that level of integration. These are the frameworks, and I don't know if this will come as a surprise to anybody, but the top three are SharePoint, Dropbox, which is more of a file sharing capability, and Google Docs, followed by big drop-off after that with Yammer. And then as you go to the right, you see some other ones that are also quite popular, such as Salesforce Chatter, Box, and others. Now, what's interesting to note is if you look at this by organization size, you can see some striking differences or contrast between them. You see that although SharePoint is clearly the most popular, you can see that it's most popular in the largest of organizations, and things like Dropbox and Google Docs most popular in the smaller organizations. So interesting, when we talk about integration with these frameworks, that actually means different things to different sizes of organizations. Now here are the extended collaborative features that we have surveyed our community about as it relates to those enterprise frameworks. And most of them had said that they want to use, this isn't a surprise by the way, most of them said that they want to use these frameworks to extend sharing. So for instance, if they're using SharePoint by way of example, they want the business intelligence environment to integrate and the collaborative capabilities within that BI tool to integrate with that framework so that they can extend sharing more broadly within the organization. The second one is kind of interesting, being able to use this capability to audit the decision process. So being able to analyze and audit the decision process, and then it goes down from there. You see things like structured workflow and ad hoc workflow, which are very typical capabilities within an enterprise collaboration framework. So let's take a slightly different view here and take a look at the industry that's supporting collaborative business intelligence today. So at an aggregate level, we actually asked all the vendors what levels of support they actually provide in their product today for collaborative BI. And you can see that the greatest majority of business intelligence vendors support those very popular features, so the sharing, the annotation and the sharing capabilities, and then co-authoring is number 3, and then it starts to drop off rather substantially. So when you get down towards things like collaboration via mobile device, all the way down to things like follow BI objects, and then real-time interactions, it drops off rather substantially. You can see what the plans are over the course of the next 24 months. In some cases, there are vendors that have no plans for many of these features. The top 2 features, however, there is very strong support today, and there is no one that's saying that they're not going to support that into the future. And we asked a similar question for data storytelling, and you can see that there's far less support in the industry right now for data storytelling than there is for those other core collaborative features. So you can see that, once again, at the top of the list, things like author-defined navigation, a majority support that today. Things like user interaction within a story, a slim majority support that today. And then you start seeing things like navigational aids, author highlighting, play, rewind, and pause. It just continues to decline to where there's virtually no support within the marketplace today. So only the more advanced vendors would support that. But you can see that there is certainly a strong intent, at least for the top 4 capabilities, to expand that and to offer that over the course of the next 24 months. So now I just want to share with you, with all of our reports, we always construct the vendor ratings, and these are completely objective. They're based on information that we collect from our users, from our vendors, based on vendor briefings. So they are completely objective in nature. And we use a spider chart or a radar chart to rank our vendors. So I'll share with you the 2015 scores right now. And so you can see that the blue line indicates those core features that we talked about, including the data storytelling. The red line are the extended features, so the integration with those enterprise frameworks, and the green line is the total score. And I'm pleased to say that our hosts today, Dundas, are one of the top vendors. They are a leader in this particular category. So I just want to share some conclusions with you, and then I'll turn things back over to our host for today. We've placed a very strong bet on collaborative BI. We've been covering it for 4 years. We'll cover it again next year because we really do think that it's critical to the future of business intelligence within organizations. So it continues to grow. We're pleased to see that in both importance and adoption. We think that collaborative BI is super important because it keeps those insights, those analyses in context. And that's how you can better leverage it. That's how you can leverage the insight. You can better leverage the various constituencies, the users within the organization, and you can define and establish and promote best practices by capturing this information within the collaborative business intelligence environment. Storytelling is something new that we've started covering as part of collaborative BI. We think it's really important, once again, to extend our ability to share these insights within the organization, as opposed to just publishing reports or what have you. Here we can actually give something to someone or to an audience that's dynamic and really brings the data alive to help tell the story. And then the last point, just around the business intelligence vendors, as I mentioned, the basic collaborative functionality is widespread today. The advanced capabilities, yeah, they're certainly less common, but there are clearly plans within the industry to expand that. And of course, we check in every year, and we will compare each year's progress to see, in fact, whether or not we're able to or have been able to achieve that. So the good news is collaborative BI is making great progress, and it's certainly an area that we encourage certainly our community to invest in and to take advantage of. So on that note, I thank you for your time and attention, and I'd like to turn it over to Nikhil for the rest of today's program.
Thank you, Howard, and hello everyone. My name is Nikhil, and I am excited to present the collaborative business intelligence capabilities within Dundas BI. As Denise mentioned earlier, Dundas BI is an end-to-end enterprise-ready BI solution with data preparation, data analytics, data presentation, and collaborative capabilities, as well as being fully customizable, extendable, as well as integrable with your existing applications, along with having full control, security, and governance capabilities. Today we're going to focus on the collaborative capabilities within Dundas BI, where the users would be able to communicate with each other using annotations, alerts, sharing, exporting, scheduling, as well as data storytelling. So let's take a look at some of these features with a live demonstration of the application. So let's first take a look at the collaboration using your existing enterprise applications such as SharePoint, website, etc., where dashboards can be embedded into a page and viewed alongside other content on the same page. Here I have a SharePoint portal that shows the product sales dashboard created in Dundas BI but embedded within this SharePoint page. This dashboard shows the total sales distribution across the country, as well as gives a breakdown of the sales by product and shows what the top performing states are in terms of total sales. If I want to focus on any particular region, just change the parameter to filter the related visuals, and to get a breakdown of this region, I expand this chart to get the related states. Now this dashboard has been created in Dundas BI and embedded within this page, but it's also getting its data from the SharePoint list that you see below this. So here I have the raw data along with the visual representation of the data alongside each other, which also means that if I make any changes to this data in the list, it will reflect on the dashboard immediately. So let's say I want to change the total sales for HEV Power Pack for this date. Go to edit this item, make the change, save it. And you can see the change has been reflected on the dashboard as soon as I make it. So this way you can embed the dashboards within your applications and view alongside other content within the same application, as well as interact between the two applications. Now let's focus on some of the tools and techniques used to collaborate amongst the users, and these tools include the ability for the users to share the dashboards, to export them into various formats like Excel, PNG, PDF, as well as send out alerts, apply annotations or notes, schedule the dashboards to be sent to other users, or have the alerts be based on data-driven thresholds. So this way the users can communicate with each other while looking at the visuals on their dashboards. So let's take a look at an example on how this is done. So we're back to the SharePoint page, and this time I'm going to navigate to another dashboard called the Company Overview dashboard. This dashboard gives a summary of the organization split by each of the departments, including sales, marketing, manufacturing, human resources, as well as shows the real-time plant status and shows the news related to the industry. Let's focus on the sales department, and you can see that the sales have not been able to meet their quarterly target. Now, to get more details on what's going on, we'd like to drill down into this department to see all the metrics related to this. So let's do that. Once I drill down, it takes me to the sales dashboard, which shows the sales result on a quarterly basis, along with showing the client distribution, who the top clients are, along with showing what the upcoming funnel looks like. If you take a look at the sales results, you can see that there was a spike during this quarter, and after this there was a fall in sales, and it has never been able to recover after that. Now, to get more details on it, I'm going to add a filter that filters for that particular range. And I'm going to change the level from quarter to month to get more understanding on the pattern. And here I can see the trend that shows me that the sales started going down after the month of June, and October was the slowest month in terms of the total sales. Now, once I've figured out where the problem was, I'd like to get more details on what exactly went on during this month. So I'd like to communicate with the sales manager to understand what went wrong here. Now, one way to do this would be to quickly share this and send it off as a link to the head of the department and wait for the reply. But instead of doing this, I'd like to automate some of this process. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a note on this, an annotation, and I'm going to set up an automated alert system so that once I add the note, the head of the sales department gets notified immediately, and when he replies, I get a notification back. Now for that, I'm going to use the notification option. I'm going to select note, give it a name, and subscribe to this particular chart, which is the sales results over time. I'm going to select which content it would be presented. In this case, it would be an image, but I can also select other formats, as well as select either a single item or the entire dashboard. In this case, because I'm focusing just on the sales results chart, I'm just going to select that chart itself. Now, once I have that set up, I'm going to set up the delivery options, where I'm going to select the delivery method as email and add all the recipients that would subscribe to these notifications. And the allow unsubscribe button would allow them to unsubscribe if they wish to. So I'm going to enable that. I'm going to add a message subject as sales results, as on, the date. And in the message body, I'd like to include the actual text of the note as well as who created it. So once I have that set up, I'm going to submit this and create the notification. Now I can add the note. So to add the note, I'm going to right click, add a note, and say why were the sales so low this month, and you can see the note appears on that particular data point. Now as soon as I added the note, an email would have been sent to the recipient, and once he replies, an email would be sent back to me with the response. Now if I look at my inbox, I can see that I have received a response to my note. If I go back to the dashboard and hover over the note, I can see the response directly above my question. So this was an example on how you can use the different tools and techniques within the application to collaborate amongst the users. Now let's take a look at the third focus of the presentation, which is the data storytelling, where users use dashboards to create a presentation that tells a story that analyzes a business problem and maybe offer a resolution or offer recommendations based on the analysis. Let's take a look at an example on how that is implemented, and for that I'm going to look at a dashboard that tracks metrics at 3 different levels. This dashboard gives you the metrics at a high level overview, which is the executive summary, detailing the scorecard for different retail locations along with how the different metrics are performing across each of the location. Here I can see for the Northwest region, revenue is done really bad, and if I expand on it to get a breakdown of different locations within this region, I can see that Oakland has done really bad. Now if I want to get more details on what went wrong here, I'm going to navigate to the store operations dashboard. Now I can see that EBITDA for this particular location has been really bad for the frozen department. If I hover over this, I can see that throughout the year this particular metric has fallen way below the national average. Not only that, even if I take a look at the inventory spoilage, you can see that none of the categories have been able to meet their target. But is that the real reason why the store has been performing that badly? I'm going to further analyze some of these metrics by bringing different metrics on the dashboard to do my analysis. For that, I'm going to edit this copy. I'm going to get rid of these charts. Switch to my project to do my analysis. Expand the metric sets, and I'm going to bring over, one is the department over time, and the other one, and the other one, and the other one would be sales by product, just to see how different products are doing. If I view this, I can see that over time the frozen department has done really bad as compared to other departments. All the departments have actually increased the sales except the frozen department. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to drill down into this department. And here I can see that amongst the frozen category, these other products seems to have done really well as compared to last year, but frozen dinners have fallen sharply, which looks like people are not exactly buying the frozen dinners, they're going for more products which they can buy and cook at their homes. So I'm going to make a note of this on the dashboard. To do that, add a label on top of the chart and add my observations to it. There is a trend of people buying products they can make at home as compared to buying ready-made dinners, and I've recommended that we need to initiate a marketing survey to confirm this. I'm looking at the store operations. Let me also check what the customers are saying about this location. And here I can see that through the scorecard it's not looking very good. Only 3 of these categories have been rated favorably. The rest of them have been rated horribly, especially the selection criteria. Which means that yes, there is a trend of people not buying certain products, but people are also not happy with their experience with this particular location. So I am going to combine my observations in a presentation by creating a slideshow. To do that, to create a new slideshow, add the dashboards that I want to show inside the slideshow, add the main operations dashboard, my analysis, as well as the experience. Next, I'll configure it, make sure that the slides don't change or change every 10 seconds, and I can repeat those slides. So this way you can create your presentation, have the presentation rotate on a screen, or you can also disable this altogether and just go through the slides manually. Now once I'm ready with this, I'm going to preview this. And on viewing the dashboard, there is an issue with the store of Oakland, with the frozen department, and what the issue is can be seen in my analysis. It shows that frozen department has not been performing very well throughout the year, and also there has been a sharp decline in people purchasing ready-made dinners, and they're more going for products that they can make at home. And I've recommended that we need to initiate a marketing survey to verify this. And in addition to this, customers that are visiting the store are also not happy. Only 3 of these categories have been rated favorably, the rest of them have been rated very bad, especially that people are not happy with the selection presented in these stores. Now let's say during the meeting that I'm presenting this slideshow, someone has raised a question that this particular location has performed really bad, and with the departmental analysis, how does it fare as far as the EBITDA per employee is concerned, especially as compared to other stores? For that, I go back to the store operations dashboard, and I see that it's amongst the top 4 as far as this particular metric is concerned. But how does it fare on an average as compared to other stores? So for that, I'm going to edit this particular dashboard, and I'm going to add my own analysis to it. And plus also add a state that shows which all locations have performed below average. Well, 6 locations have fallen below the average. Oakland is still above the average. So that was the example of how you can use Dundas BI to present your data using a story to analyze a business problem and make recommendations based on the analysis. So as a summary, today we saw how you can use Dundas BI to collaborate within your existing enterprise platforms. We saw some of the tools and techniques used to collaborate amongst the users, as well as saw an example on how you can use the data storytelling to analyze a business problem and make recommendations based on the analysis. So now I pass the control to Denise to wrap up and open for questions.
What's next? First off, I want to thank everyone for joining us on the call today. Just a reminder, should that any of you have specific questions that don't get answered today, we'd be more than happy to follow up directly. Just send us an email at info@dundas.com. We have a variety of options available for you to get a more hands-on experience with Dundas BI. You can have a live demo with one of our solution architects. You have the full product download from our website, as well as a free online trial. We'll now open it up to some questions.